What's going on, ESGN Nation, and welcome back to another episode of the Stanford Cardinals Online Dynasty, episode 43, and this is week 11. As you can tell, we are in a bye week this week, and we got some players here we're going to look at when it comes to our recruitment. So we already got a couple of recruits already. We've got some new ones now this week, as Ricky Jude, a corner, 75 overall corner, is now officially signed with us. And things are starting looking going our right direction here for us, as we've been winning a lot of games. Of course, we've been winning a lot of close games here, and I think a lot of young men out there are watching us and seeing that Coach TJ Bonds has something with his squad that he has put together now. And of course, we are the #1 team in the nation, which, you know, that's a huge target on your back anytime you're in that position, and especially for a third-year coach. This is a kind of a not necessarily a make or break year for him, but if he can get on the right track here with this team and bring home a national championship to Stanford, the sky's the limit for TJ Bonds. So as you see there, we had another guy there that signed with us for this week. And like I said, the recruiting it's been pretty challenging here. Even in my other series there on the main channel, our Han and Scotty series, I try to go after guys that are realistic, guys that I think that we could have around for a couple of years. Not those, I mean, it's nice to have those gems, those blue chippers in there and whatnot, but a lot of times it's not necessary. You want to kind of build a team. That's at least that's in my team builder series I try to build a team from the ground up. So we're really, I don't have any kind of rules that I try to go by. I just basically try to go after guys, for one, that want to play for us and that can play for us. Two, if we happen to get some blue chippers that are into what we're doing in the squad for either series, really, then I go after those guys. But I don't necessarily go out of my way to go after guys that are not interested in us at all, because I'm not going to waste my time trying to get put on points on guys like that. So if you ever do a series yourself, that's something that you guys gotta kind of think about. I was asked that in a question on here on the channel. They sent me a message about it and whatnot. So that's what I usually try to do. I try to make it realistic as possible. So I try to go after guys that are interested in us. I try to go to nearby states. So for instance, California. Of course, California is a big state, so we're gonna get a lot of recruits. But I try to go after states like Texas, like Florida, and then I try to hit the states within surrounding us: Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, Washington. States that we're seen in by way of the Pac-12. And the same thing can be said when I do my Han and Scotty series. I try to pick schools around the area, or pick players from around the area. Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, and then of course if I have any other pipeline states like Florida, California, and stuff like that. But we'll go ahead and let's look at the recruitments right here. There you see Dave Myers, one of our guys there. He is looking right now. We're neck and neck with Cal right now for his trying to get him signed up. Wesley Johnson's another player there that we could actually lock in pretty soon here. Mario Johnson for Bay, Texas, there. He is another one we're going after. And then you can see a couple others there that we're just, right there, almost getting those guys and trying to close the deal on those guys there here in hopefully the next week or two. Hopefully, with this bye week not having a game here, we don't really have much to show what we can go after for. There you see Jason Johnson. Steve and them, actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Taylor and Steve were both going after him, but we finally we're close enough to locking him in. He is a number 26 overall QB. Will he start next year? Probably not. He probably won't start until really his senior year, but it's nice to have another quarterback, as we've been kind of looking at quarterbacks possibly for the future. Now, our big concern is, my big concern is for this season and for this series, is to make sure we have an offensive line and a defensive line. Now, this year we've been kind of working on the defense. We're working on the middle linebacker position that we've been looking at, middle linebackers, and then, of course, our secondaries, which, because we're going to lose quite a few of those coming up next year. And when I think about next year's schedule, we probably won't be playing too many ranked opponents. Not saying we're trying to take an easy way out, but we are going to be losing a lot of people on both sides of the ball. So trying to, say, hey, we're going to, reload and go after another national championship that's not, to me, not realistic. It's going to be a tough time. You can almost say the same thing that's kind of going on with my Hana and Scotty series. If you guys have been watching that, leave a link up below in the eye or down below in the description there. But that's kind of the same thing that's going on, but we're trying to work on offensive line in that series, because we'll be losing a lot of guys. Actually, really be losing a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball going into next year. So, recruitment wise, it's going to be a little tougher. Actually, now you think about it, it won't be too tough because there'll be some open positions next year or that following year, and so there'll be a lot of battles for positions. But the competition wise on the field is going to be a lot tougher for us. So for us to not necessarily take the easy way out, but because I was looking at the rankings before they have us ranked for the next couple of years, and we're going to be kind of sliding down some. So I think we're going to be in the top 10 in that series, but we may not be. It's some things that we have to worry about there, and that's one of the things I'm kind of worried about for this series, is that I don't want to, just play a bunch of top 25 teams and get slaughtered and not be able to convince young men come here and play for us. I think we might have one ranked opponent. Of course, we'll play Notre Dame, as we always do. But I think this year I really want to lock down Washington and Washington State, since we don't get to play them. They're in Steve's little Canadian / USA conference that he has there. So hopefully we're gonna be able to lock those guys in for those two teams next season. They, of course, are former Pac-12, at least in this version of NCAA. They're former Pac-12 teams now in that very unique conference USA. Their conference, or I should say, I forgot, it's called the Canadian USA Conference that Steve put together there. But yeah, we're just gonna be looking at a lot of things. There you see Adam Brown, 60-year-old middle linebacker. It was got a long shot with him, but we see Washington State is gonna go ahead and sign him. But yeah, this is, like I said, it's gonna be a very interesting year because we got a lot of guys, at least in this series. Defensively, it's going to be really tough for us to get those, be in the shape that we're in, at least like how we had this season. So this is really our one and only shot here, at least for the next couple of years, to make that drive to the national championship, especially with Taylor and Steve kind of out of the picture, which, somewhere down the line there, if everything plays right, Illinois, and I forgot who the other top 25, other top schools there are up there with us. If they start sliding back and they don't win games, big time games, that it could be troublesome for, not necessarily for us. I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready to take on either one of them. But it could be troublesome for those other schools, and I really, like I said, I really don't care who we're playing. I don't care if we're playing Illinois. I don't care if we're playing the Lovely Lions. I don't care if we're playing Air Force. Just as long as we're playing in the national championship. This I'm really surprised it took us. Actually, I'm not. I feel like we're all kind of on schedule here when it comes to the national championship run here for Stanford. Now, like I said, we got 2 more seasons we're gonna play on this here, on this Stanford Cardinals, and then eventually we'll come back with Coach TJ Bonds, but in a series kind of by himself, because this series is taking quite a bit to do, because I got to do a lot of editing. I got to make sure I play my games on a regular basis, because I'm trying to keep in pace of how often Steve and them play this series, and I feel like I'm kind of slowing down because I'm trying to do so much. I'm trying to do this series, of course, my Hana and Scotty series, not to mention trying to get draft classes ready for the Giants franchise there, because I've already got 3 or 4 of those. I've been kind of working on those here quite a bit here lately. So I'm trying to add in Taylor's and Steve's guys in those draft classes, and how they would look like in the Madden series that I have with the Giants on there on the main channel. But you take a look here, we got Thomas Mitchell. He's looking like tempo. These are some last minute guys that we're putting up here, as you can tell here. Elliot Rutledge, he is one of our top guys there from Newark, California. Balanced middle linebacker there. Cal, and of course Steve is looking at him too. I noticed there's a lot of players that you see, like Buck Petty. He's another player that Steve and Taylor are looking on their board here right now, and we're starting climbing up on these guys in the last minute here on their boards, and we're hoping that I'm really hoping that we can kind of sneak some of these guys away from Taylor and Steve, and I think we should be able to if we continue playing the way we've been playing and start winning, really doing a better job of. I feel like last couple of weeks here now, the last couple of games here have been really solid. We've had some kind of bumps in the road, but I think for the most part, solid play here, especially from our quarterback. Because you remember last year, I was so ready to get rid of Davis, and don't get me wrong, I'm still feeling that way, even though he is playing very well. He is throwing a lot of interceptions, but at the same time, he's throwing a lot of touchdown passes, and I think he is leading in the NCAA with the most passing yards this season too. So, if he thrown half the interceptions he's thrown this season, and if those half were into touchdowns, he would be up for the Heisman this year. He would be a Heisman, I guarantee a top 2 Heisman Trophy candidate. But it is what it is. We're just gonna have to deal with it. So we're just something that we're gonna have to go with, and hopefully, I think it's Lewis who's our backup. He's been playing very well for us. He's been playing a couple games, and we'll get him involved at some point here, of course of the season. Well, there you see some of the guys that we just recently signed there: Ricky Jude, Keith Franklin, and Joey Davis. Some of the others there we signed. Take a look at the top classes that signed players so far here. Taylor so far has the most. He has 4 6-star, four four-star athletes there. If I get my numbers right. Steve has 5 4 stars. They both have. Taylor has 3 5-stars, and they have 2. Steve has 2 5-stars. I have 1 5-star, 3 4-stars, 4 3-stars. So there you see 8 so far here total. Steve right now, Georgia Tech has the most, Minnesota has the most overall in signing. They have 11 3-star athletes coming to their program next year. But right now, Taylor's the top guy there in recruiting as such. So, because Taylor, this is something this is his thing and what he does when he plays these kind of games here. This is his bread and butter. He knows how to find those players and knows how to change his schemes very, very often, very frequently. But coming up is the big game of the year. This is a game that's going to really set us here and get us prepared here, because if we can beat Cal, then we shouldn't have a problem for the rest of the season. But of course, Cal last year we defeated them. I believe I think that we ran that touchdown back and we defeated them. Now they come to us in our house. We're undefeated both overall and in the Pac-12. They're currently 4-1 in the Pac-12, 7-1 overall this season. And they, I believe, if they're our true rival, they're going to be looking for blood like nobody's business, and that is going to be something that we're going to definitely have to watch out for. There you see they're better in points per game, total offense, and rushing offense there. As for us, we're pretty much better than them in all the other categories there, as well as overall, and not to mention defense. Defense is going to become really key for us, as it pretty much has been this season so far here. Those times that we had to pick up the offense, especially pick up Davis and get him in position there to do something and get down the field. That is something that our defense has been doing very excellent in. There you see the top guys there. They have several 90 overalls there. Sands, their center, who is a 96 overall, by far the best player here in NCAA, or on their team here. And of course, McDonald, their halfback, 93 overall. He has he has decent speed there, 85 speed there. But you got all these other players that we've come in contact here in the past. And like I said, for us to be able to defeat them, we have to shut down the quarterback, and we have to shut him down quickly. So that's Williams there, who we're going to have to really put a cap on and make sure he does not get too comfortable back in that pocket there, and make sure we kind of get him riled up and get him on his feet and get him moving around that pocket. If we don't get him moving around that pocket and make him force throws when he's in that pocket, then it's going to be a very long day for our defense. But I think our defense can handle it. Our offense really is going to have to really do a step up. They're going to have to protect Davis as much as possible, as often as they can, and just give our wide receivers time to get down the field, get open, and make some plays. And not to mention, I believe our halfback's going to have to play. So if we can't get the run going, we're definitely going to have to get Graham going and get him, catching balls out of the backfield and going down there, because he's been getting better here as a receiving back. So we'll see if that will continue coming up here in that game. And like I said, that game will be coming up here very soon here on the channel. Stay tuned for that here on ESGNet LP. But that's it for the Stanford Cardinals Online Dynasty. So far, I really like our our new class coming in, and it should be a good one here. And like I said, this next game coming up against against Cal, is going to be very big for us, very huge. And it's all hands on deck. I think we got a couple of recruits coming in for that game, matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken. So we got to make a very good impression, not just for those players that are coming in, but also for the ones that have not came in yet, or still undecided, that have already came in, but they're still on the fence of if they want to sign with us or not. But that's it for this episode of the series, or the episode. Stay tuned for more here on the channel. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. Check us out on the main channel on ESGNet. Check out our Patreon. The link's down below. And not to mention, keep yourself safe. Wear a mask. Stay safe. Keep yourselves and each other healthy. And I will see you guys next time.